Ene eya juwa dame mawachi amwakwaba ediba property day break show so ewo property TV so. It says no si abwa pa wo nson ewa inde eye aya ho mo so me ne da to so edonu ennan wa afimpinu ne edonu ennan mu memawachi amwakwaba ediba property day break show so. Emra so sansama ya abobo no anopei no. Mensamfo aso no so kroche ade ama me no bakenkan ademo se anopa no nsi akase edi kan e property day break show so na nsam ne de ebedimu akotin ebi enim yamampan dada John Dramani Mahama kepiemu e wasante mantem no de tudwa se democracy kabima minkabi amembu no se Ganafo yehwe ne yeso miye pa ewo insamfo from no senior presidential advisor ede abetu dwa sania MPP omamembu no elko na sania entutuye ne etibia no wabechechemu ewo kwan paso sa esoso na yera Joshua Labi kejinemu edema yamampan dada John Dramani Mahama ewo climate for peace dialogue dwabo ase no de nsamba ko ne mienu bi ede tudwa no so ewo nsami mu anepe maje pene amba keka ide amosa no pene osi akase edi kai ewo property day break show so mi amedika say ade sumo edi ameje so efia insurance dani nya enkoma logic phones omo na abomachi domo ema ne pemetumi edika say ade sumo mo wa wutifie no so wonya bi ehwa wusan enya bi tie na wo sane anwama ekọ ewo oman mu na sa na medika say di chiremu edeba sumo ani die mu amem twa me ho sema emra ahobra simu ajepenia na mefa nsam ni nchiremu emfa ensumo me sha nsam na se a yamampan dada John Dramani Mahama ekepiemu ewo Christian Service University omu 50th anniversary ase na wonom na odi tu adwa se Ghana ye democracy kemibe minkabi amembu na wasi yesomi yie pensan se no na amende Ghana Ghana enu ntino mo bia ye na adwen se sa democracy kabima minkabi amembu no obetoto na se obi bia enso mu yie ne yentumi enkita democracy no mu na no na ebetumi aboa oman Ghana
is the surest path to sustain progress and development for Africa and particularly our country Ghana. And this belief has driven me into my active involvement in democratic pursuits and governance in various capacities for over 3 decades, from the grassroots to the highest office of the land. Ghana's transition to democracy did not come easy. Nearly a third of our 67 years as an independent nation has been spent under military dictatorships. These military governments often came to power on the pretext that democratic governance had failed to yield the desired outcomes, and they were often met with significant support from sections of the population who were tired of the corruption and poor governance of democratic governments. Some military governments made strides towards improving the country's fortunes, but overall, our experience under military regimes were clearly unpleasant. We have learned that democracy is the better system of government than unconstitutional and military rule. That some citizens, especially young people, long for the military era is concerning, but it's not surprising. Such calls, especially after all the gains made in entrenching democratic culture, call for a re-evaluation of what has gone wrong. An honest introspection reveals that many feel that they have not benefited from or partaken in the democratic dividend.
As part of the 50th anniversary celebration, the university has decided to organize 2 major public lectures and to invite the presidential candidates of the 2 major political parties in Ghana, the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic party to speak on two very important topics to the nation. The objective of this university for this public lecture is to partner with all the political giants of this nation to conceptualize new ways of sustaining the democracy practiced in Ghana and, for that matter, the whole of Africa.
Metu also ewo nsamfu from a senior presidential advisor Yera Yao Osafo Mafo no de nsem bi atudwa wa abra o ne nsamtwafo ekeye nhyiamu na ase no de tudwa sania NPP a membu no anasa NPP a meyokofu na betina akondwa no so ayam mampen na dankwa akufu ado ebu omanim dom no dwuma omwadi ene ntutuye omo atoto oman yie no Yera ya Osafo Mafo e de tudwa o kiremu se NPP a membu no akoyie pa de amo oman Ghana omo ababoa oman omo ahwe de nyama tutu yi ya nyama ba ko mienu bi NPP amanyoko no baaye no Yere ehwe ye chechiremu e de ma amanfo a omo kapie mu e wo hono
has been a significant concern in Ghana's public service reform agenda. To address this, government through the PSRRP has supported DVLA, BDR and Passport Office to enhance efficiency and accountability. DVLA, as you know, is the agency that assessing and licensing of drivers and vehicles in Ghana. In providing services, DVLA has been constrained by limited capacity in printing driving licenses due to outdated machinery. In response to the challenge, IT equipment have been supplied to DVLA to enable them print in-house these driving licenses. The vehicle registration time has reduced from 6 hours to under 2 hours because of the electronic system which we employ. Production of licenses has significantly improved from 700 licenses per day to 2,500 per day since 2022. DVLA has reduced the backlog they had of 76,000 unprinted driving licenses as at September 2021 to 8,000. Birth and death registry has also been improved with printing of the relevant combined maternal and child health record booklets, and they have produced about 1.2 million of birth registry booklets for babies, newborn babies. The Passport Office is mandated naturally to produce passport, and passport is a security document. So naturally, every country is very careful as to who can hold Ghanaian passport. You must be a Ghanaian to hold a Ghanaian passport. So in producing a passport, there are certain checks which they have to do to make sure that you are Ghanaian. So far, we have been able to support them also to do a lot of in-house printing. We have now also done this, and all the key passport areas we are now doing and producing them in large quantities. My problem, and I've still not been able to understand, we are faced with a problem we ourselves don't understand. A number of people do not come to collect the passports. People are so anxious and do everything they can to get a passport. After we've gone through to produce the passports, they don't come to collect. Now these centers have these uncollected passports. Takoradi alone has 8,000. Cape Coast had 8,696. Accra has 19,500 passports uncollected. We did a quick count this morning and found out that we have a total of about 86,000 passports uncollected or made. So what do we do?
Met also ewo insemfu from a Ghana Youth Environmental Movement Eddie Jumedia to Climate for Peace Dialogue dwumadi ehye so na moto nsafre man panyin dada John Dramani Mahama na wentumi anko opanyin na okagina na nemu eye Joshua Labi na wonom na ode nsam bi etu dwa efi man panyin dada John Dramani Mahama ho na eba okachira embebu na omo oman mu sasane aye climate change aye review misakraye ekwoso na sunsuan so boni ayenya ewo man mu embraso say embebu nyina beka omo ho abomu no mo atumi agina no na omo aku edietia ama oman Ghana.
It's one of the most pressing issues of our era. Its impacts are no longer a distant threat, but a present reality, affecting communities across Ghana and the globe. As we stand on the eve of the 2024 election, let us be reminded that the future of Ghana is intrinsically linked to the actions we take today. Climate change and peace building are not separate issues, but part of a holistic approach to sustainable development. The youth of Ghana are not just the leaders of tomorrow. You are the leaders of today. Your participation, your voice, and your action are vital in shaping the resilient and prosperous future for
Yaman penyi dada bedi echire Professor Jena no poku ajima na ode nsamba kumienu bi ekwade amansam trofo titiri mba na yewo mi na asam braso si ebegina ye nanso na yankase yetumi akan asam ya chechire mu sane ebetumi aboye sane ampenfo ya ebekọ ni ye di amaye mba ye won nsam chirejuma ni mu esanse ebrepi no amanfo na omukan asam edemaye na so no nyesa na ewese kaba no ewese mba no so yetumi ejire ye nanso na yetumi edi ensisi ebo na yetumi ekasa na omuhu ohawa yesu ye famu ewo dwumadie no emu.
Stories is important. And maybe part of it is because I've been in literature all my life, and it's all about the stories, or most of it, beyond the critical reception and so on. The primary material is about the stories of possibilities, the stories that subvert, the stories that suggest things can be different, the stories that suggest we have not always been like this, the stories that say we have not always begged for our food, we have not always depended on others to tell us what is beautiful in us. That is why I find my discipline so empowering. People feel it's about just, even if it's about entertaining children, what's more important than entertaining children anyway? I think that is also important. So when we tell our stories, we inspire. We inspire others. Literature inspires. So does many other disciplines. When we share, we transform inaction into exuberance. We let people know, yes, I can. And that is why we need to continue to be bold to tell women's stories. How have we survived? And I'm also aware that women's stories are different, they are diverse, and each one is important.
Now, what you betwemu equanum pain for the Jumedi be I opportunity air compact convention as a share to Jumedi and Botae and say, or more air catanasi afar, Jensen, you bet to me, I am Brebi at the atu one and I say, I'm way to me young crat, I be the atu one ma, I bang your baby be a besha sancratano so, or dear boo or my Ghana mam, a mine so you put to Juman to me aquan kind. Now, one and now, or rye or say, chairman said you to a just say. And Russell said, a man bra, a war mine one pay for so, a de boy my mature constitution, I was some pay for a share, no more yen sacra be a woman, and no bet to me abwa, and my Ghana yen name put to Juman so to me aquaso a ye.
In enforcing accountability, accountability, a lot of people talk about Public Accounts Committee. Public Accounts Committee, no more to say, Sabi will be a woman, or the comma. Dr. Nia or Hifunu say on paper money ekuno. What does he say? Parliament Juma Yen say budget TV. You were bason for committee. Omona ye budget ni wie pe na se budget na ye beye adwuma committee no also mkosi akiri every sector committee also ko ni ministry e ko hwese sika de mam so mfanya adwuma no de adwuma ampa na parliament yes adwuma no. So it's a deficit in the performance of the functions of parliament. What you say? And parliament is soon to then the young fa M1 na yenkamu musani be adwuma yam bitna koso wano amayin okwati mu afọ omoso ya ene ma bibro ha constitution na ngasa class is here no see here na public tribunals ho ene public tribunals ho hefa aso ko constitution wa public tribunals wo ya mo modwuma so monye. We need to look at all those things. Rollins they set up NDP letter commission. Nobody complained. Why is it? Rollins ne constitute two letter commission. MPP muno. We're not too happy with that. Now so you say, also the opposite winning elections. Grown form. In this what sense what to say also fanasa I didn't see then assistant here and then you know debia agrono any form. Let's look at all these things if na yen hwese ibenya o man no ya mamu ni benya homfaso a chance ne yesi enyama no
anapeno nsiakase a edikan o property day break show so ena woni guso a wo hwa no meto so ewo nsanfofrem a ya man payin dada John Dramani Mahama osan Frankatufo de ma NDC amenyokuo no ekepiemu e wa Asante mantem na hwa no di etu adwase adeba akon ade na akoma so a Yakopon ya na adom ma obat na akonwa no so obehwe aye atoto ma bibia akoye eye senior sidi no eti ekofo ma dollar ni edisu enkunim no oso ya oba obehwe atoto ni ye sanse no na ebetumi aboa emanyama akoye ewo man mu to oba obehwe atutu bibia so anase atutu nyama yina ye emesidi no ebetumi edi nkunim ewo dollar no so ama dwumadi amanfo edi ewo man titiri amanfo mo kra nyama fi amanane edebo man mu no omo dwumadi so etumi akonkan ede amom.
Keenly aware of the weight of expectation that will rest on the shoulders of the next government, given the dire economic situation in which we find ourselves. With the crisis that we're confronted with in Ghana, if we continue a single shift system, it's going to take us decades to turn this economy around. And so we need to run faster. And the only way we can run faster is to add on to our productivity. And we can only add on to our productivity if we work day and night. My number one priority will be to stabilize the economy and halt the deterioration in the value of the cedi against other currencies. Our economic policy will be geared towards sustainable growth with an equitable distribution of the proceeds of growth amongst our citizens. The basic structure of our economy, reliant on raw material exports with little or no value addition, is no longer tenable. Significant growth and wealth creation cannot be realized from this, and we will not be able to provide for the needs of our people if we continue.
Yeman payin na adan kwa Akufo Addo abedi echi Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia Esaya Frankatufo edema NPP amenyokuo no asisi ade ba ko a aka NPP amenyokuo na waso omoye eye na abedi echira yeman payin abedi echi Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia ebeyi na asisi aka na okọ Asante mantemu a Pina esrase yeman payin abedi echi Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia beyi oba se na abedi echire ne titiri ukọ eye race course dwedi bia ewa Asante mantem adwedifo mo ho mba no echira omope oba se yeman payin abedi echi Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia ebeyi no wey efi taxi drivers omoto ewo race course dwedi bia ewo no mo kire se yemami chief of staff Mame Frema Opare eno omo sre Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia se obeyi ne sa na abedi echi sansa mame no abonu humodi ye pa opanyin bia metena akonwa no so a wetumi abe race course one we be sesie honom ade amom na so mame no wɔyɛ abaatan ɛne nti wɔtie ɔmo so frɛ sɛnea nsuo tɔ ɔmo kyerɛ ɛyɛ dwadifo ɔmo hɔ no sisi ano wahwe sisi dwa no mu ɛde ama ɔmo wɔ abra ɔnyɛ abɛde akyiri poti so wɔyi kora kyerɛ sɛ mampanyin na n'adan kɔ akufo do abɛde akyiri Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia eyi na maame no bɛbɔ ne ho mmɔden yie pa nti ɔmo srɛ Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia so oyi abɛde akyiri ɔmo pɛ ɛyɛ yɛ maame Frema Opare
abrei MPP Yewura Bawumia enche obeyi obi a obebo ne chidom na yen so a ye wo race course a ye ya driver fo no ye hunu ne mapa ye maame ba ko a yen so ye dida ne so eye maame Akosi Frema Opare ye hunu ne mapa ewo ni mu a ye gidi ye se Yewura Bawumia ebo ne din se omeye ne chidom a ebetimi aboa no ama kampa ye ba be ye no Asante Region ha ene Ghana ha no ebetimi ayemre ama no enti Yewura ya de nyina Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia obeyi ni running mate no ye de adesade e fan central force so amana tulanim se de edwa hodo a ewo Asante Region ha ene Ghana ha ema ewo mu nyina obia esu efre ne se Omo ye maame ya de nyina Akosi Frema Opare dini na omaye ni running mate anasa omebo ni chidom no saa so na yen adrobafo ye besre Yewura Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia sana da Roma Omo ye maame dini manenya ni running mate
pe adrafo ekuta ehyan ede ya adwuma wo scores ya enipa doma afu ya ka nyina ama ya te se maame ne obi a so bo Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia chidoma nyina dom support ebema MPP enti na yenso awia ye gina aka se Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia emoye maame Frema Opare din no mele omobo ne chidom
maame Frema Opare ye nyina ye tanachi ye free se ema efuru ye kai edidwa atecha na so no ho nyina no wabeye dwom nyina kama kama amayen ana ye hu se mema efiri 92 eto aba mema ya ye nya oba bia manu meye running mate ma ye man panyi bia da enti ye man panyi Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia digital man yes sir say so two din was antimemu ade a ye maame Akosi Frema Opare ono na ye adraba for race course ye de ye dom e ta na chi
maame no abada ye wa ye bi so ama ye driver for race course wa e ma no de niam gu fam ensuo to a omunya ba bi mfa ngu ye dugu ye kan mu anaka mu nyina ya atache enesi ye hu sa de ni bia na sa ye maame no e na aye sa de we ama ye etimi sramo adraba for wa nyina ye nyina de akoma
metwa so ewo nsafufuru mu a dia abetodwa sabi obia eka eyendura eye amanhodo so bi ede ache oman Ghana ebetumi abo amanfo ewo man mu abaka airport omuntumi enyi efefiri wonom embretintin ni wei na dom kuma mo mbrahye bedwefie eye brahye bedweni ede madwa abo so Yewura Kobena Minta ede oman no mudi etudwa sasaso eye omuhwe apomudi so anhwe ni mpanyfo ankle induro na ewo port wonom na omo omo na watwe mienu so omo etumi anye bibia amfa wo omo beye oye kire ede etu omo sanse eba ne sen na ema ne ekaba ne sandre bedu onom na wase omo yi na omo hwe supply mo bibia etumi nsaka bi mo de sa yare ewo man mu no ndro no so akaye twintwan ya hye porta omo entumi enye no nti na omo dwen wo omo nte ase enu tintampe ya omo hwe no muntumi enkle ndro ni nya emfemfi ehwonom.
Address you on the locked up commodities and medications at the port. And as you know, we the members of parliament from the minority side will not relent on our effort to push government to clear these locked up commodities and drugs until they are cleared from the port. And that must be put on record. And as we speak now, today, not all the containers containing drugs and commodities at the port have been cleared. We are a group of reasonable people, and so we have heard the plea by the minister responsible for health that we should give him 2 weeks, although it doesn't make any sense to plead for 2 weeks to clear commodities that have been at the port for 1 good year. But that notwithstanding, we have heard him. But we are sending a clear signal and warning that within his own 2 weeks, all, and the emphasis is all the containers containing these drugs should be cleared from the port. Not some, as they have been doing, that they'll go and clear few containers and they'll go to sleep. will not
And
cancel.
the pay some of Bobuano at the Babason son of Peno, Siakasi, Edikai, El property day break shows no. A hana Brahma Quima Medina no Midi AC. Medino Adi, a fear in Shramida, Sidania at the Logic phones. Or Mona Moshe, Bo Mechi drum, Emma Mitumi, Edicasi at Babastomo, Moa Tifianus win ya be a share ye. Jedru Swaya, we can see some capito, the data capito, the Bobo at the Baba at the Abastomo. We are property day break show. And it's also bright as MC on no share ye. Eddie be out to two at the mammy, sir, as soon as shy boy share me camera and a sound at the mammy, and there a chuata. Miss Royan Copon some boy who by and you could do a Jumon Sanum brief yasum dreamu. No mum no be Munu Yabo Trace and say no, and a bit to me a bow. Yabasai Asia ebium.
Radin Shrubia, no Radin Ubia Cassia, Media the prophet Kumchacha, or say, me more at the Bonneho de Ulum Fenchano because I'm a public figure at the Papa and Kwan, I'm a bone de Ulu, and the former